Boy, and welcome to the Boys Spoilercast here on Shared Screens. I'm joined by right lot. I got Ali, and I got Osti, and I'm your host today, Joshy Juicer. And we're gonna get right into this.
That was so good.
That was so
That
good,
was
man.
so good. Can we stop right now? We're done. That's the entire thing. Goodbye. Good. Thank you for watching. We will never do anything better than that.
Not gonna lie, I've been practicing that all day. And I've also been running over whether I'm gonna drop the C word or not. I was gonna, but I know you can, swear within the first 30 seconds of YouTube videos. That's been a thing now for a bit. So I was like, should I just hit the C bomb? But I decided to hold back a little bit. But yes, today we're talking about the boys. It's the boys. It's the boys. I mean, if Billy's gonna call God a right cunt, then yeah, maybe we just drop it, But yeah, we're here. We're talking everything season 3 of the boys. Goddamn, what a show! I just want to start right off the rip. Give me your top level thoughts on this season, Austin. We'll start with you.
Yeah. They do they always do like the really graphic scene in the first episode? Because I know like in season 1 it was running through. I don't remember her name. Huey's ex. Robin, thank you.
Yep.
And then season 2, the I remember the thing was the whale, but I don't remember if that was episode 1. Anyway, was it?
Like
see, I thought it was 2. Anyway, the first episode, the intro to this, I showed my cousin and my dad who had never seen the show. I was like, "Yo, you want to know what the boys is?" Because they're like, "We heard about it." I'm like, "Watch this." And they did not want to continue. They're like, "We're done. We're good. We're all right. It's fine."
That
man.
a practical set, by the way. They showed up some behind the scenes, and it is an actual set of the tip of a penis, and it looks great.
Love it.
Yeah, go track down the boys on Twitter. Showrunner posted the photo of it. Yeah,
that's
great.
Fantastic. So yeah, that scene, I thought they couldn't outdo the whale. They did it, in my opinion. I was watching it and like cringing and like I was uncomfortable. I loved that. That was so good. Just to sneeze, and as soon as he got small, I was like, oh no. I knew exactly where this was going, and it still delivered. I thought Jensen Ackles gave a great performance as Soldier Boy. I love Jensen Ackles. I've been a Jensen Ackles fan since Supernatural early days. This was. I saw Dean a couple times. Every once in a while, he just put on the Dean voice, and I'm like, "That's my boy." But this season's great. I thought Herogasm was so worth it. I thought the first time we saw I'm terrible with names. Homelander genuinely terrified in that moment, and I was like, "Holy shit!" And the thing that sticks with me is those moments I just rattled off, but then. As an example, the moments when Black Noir returned to Vought Tower, even because there's a scene with him and Homelander before, and I'm nervous as shit because I don't want Black Noir to die. With spoilers, well, I guess they don't confirm he's dead, but he's dead, right? Anyway, I don't think there's been a show who's ever done tension better without even
100%.
having to do anything. I'm just watching two people talk, and I literally am almost doing this shit. I can't. Homelander's character conveys that so well. So basically, sorry, I'm rambling now. Top level thoughts of season 3 is that it's more of season 1 and season 2, but it's better in season 3 in my opinion. This is the best season. Might be my favorite season of TV ever. The Boys might be my favorite media property. Period. Even more than Fallout 3 at this point. I am starting to absolutely love this shit. Love it so much. We can get into more nitty-gritty spoilers after that, but yeah, I loved every second of this.
Alec, take it away, my man.
Yeah, I'm honestly right there with Austin, and it's this season was insane right from the jump. There's just so many twists and turns. It's just Josh and I were talking a bit, and it's just there's this a certain point before Herogasm, it's almost just a blur before that episode. Just everything in the first part of the season, but that first part of the season is still really good, and just that shows the strength of these last 3 episodes is just insane.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, y'all. I started 1 and 2 right as like the beginning of 3 was dropping for the first time
Mhm.
through. I was running through everything. Everyone's like, "Oh my god, the first 10 minutes of season 3, the first 10 minutes." I'm like, "Hey, I'm like, what can they possibly show?" They showed the tip, this little man going inside the tip of a dude's penis. 10 out of 10. It's
Little
great.
man going
Uh,
into his little man.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm right there with you. Like the tension like of it all. That any character can die at any moment. I think this season has the best like overarching storyline of like how are we going to kill Homelander, because this is the first time he's actually, I'd say, like the primary focus in terms of the villains. Like in season 1, I felt like it was very Vought's the central villain. And then
Mhm.
2, you start to see Homelander gain some like control and start pulling the strings. But then they're like, you know what's worse than Homelander? A literal Nazi. And so Stormfront just becomes the
Right.
central villain. And so now for them to be like, all right, this is no holds barred. This is Homelander as it like at his worst. He's marking Black Noir. He's fat shaming fucking
A
um
Train.
A-Train. He's like, eat Timothy. He's
Oh,
making
that's
deep
The
eat
deep, the
yeah.
deep
eat octopuses. Yes,
octopi.
and
Thank you.
it's just so unhinged. And I think like
Mhm.
even um even like all the other characters are so strong in this season. The relationship between Frenchie and Kimiko, the strongest it's ever been.
Oh man, I love
Mother
God. I love them. I love them so much.
Yeah.
I love them so much, and I'm at the point now. If either of them die, I will boycott this show, and that's gonna hurt for me because this is like Austin was saying. It's becoming one of my favorite like entertainment properties.
Mhm.
I will boycott it. It's gonna hurt. Mother's Milk at his absolute best.
Oh yeah.
Um,
That's
Huey and
another thing.
Starlight.
That's another thing I bring up when people are like, "Oh, I've never seen The Boys," and I give them the top level like crazy shit. I'm like, "There's a
Mhm.
character named Mother's Milk."
Yeah,
Like that's his name.
Mhm.
right. And Billy Butcher, like all of them, at their absolute best this season. And yeah, I think it's the best. So from here, do we want to now focus in on the finale? Because God, what a roller coaster of emotions we went through last night, today, watching it.
I'll
Um,
say one quick thing. I just want to say before we get into like
mhm.
more specific stuff. Anthony Starr, I feel like he is in that category of actors right now of like character or actors that were born to play this role. Like
Yes,
along with
Yeah.
like Robert Downey Jr., like all those kind of
yeah,
actors. It's like with those characters, like it's like he was born to play Homer. Like he can do that like terrifying yet funny like at the same time. Like it
oh
is
yeah,
Maniacal.
just
Really.
insane how
hundred
good he is
percent.
at that. And like that
Mhm.
scene
Yeah,
with him in the mirror, like how he could play like the afraid but say yet super confident like at the same time.
hmm
That was such a great scene.
yeah. I love this show for it like taking inspiration from a lot of other like comic book media, whether it be Marvel or
Mm,
DC, and then like they kind of parody, but they make it better in ways. And as soon as he starts his Green Goblin shit, I was like, God damn, this dude is
yep.
absolutely unhinged, and I loved him. I loved him in this finale, like when he's talking to Black Noir, and he's like, I've been able to see your face this whole time,
It was so
whether
good. I was like, I
you're,
never even thought of that. Like, I'm
yeah,
so
Oh,
stupid.
yeah.
a
He's like your
big
crooked
thing.
smile, whether you're
A
lying to me. And,
a big thing of that is I don't know if you guys remember that show, The Boys Diabolical, that animated show.
Didn't
It was
watch
I've
it.
an
not watched that yet.
anthologies. It's an
Mhm.
anthology series, but the last episode is actually canon to the Boys universe, and it
Interesting.
deals with Homelander and Black Noir. Like, it's Homelander's first
Right.
mission.
In
So,
Mm,
which,
cool.
yeah, I haven't seen it, but I've like heard bits and pieces about it of how like Homelander, or how basically like Black Noir's like you're gonna like fuck up some missions, but like
yep.
it's okay, and kind of like is a bit of a father figure to Homelander in that episode. Which now knowing that and seeing how this finale goes down, like
Yeah.
God damn it hurt it, and like just having the Looney Tunes characters be like, "We're proud of you, Marvin." I was like, start I started tearing
Irvin?
up.
hmm
Irving?
Irvin.
Irving.
Irving.
Yep.
Yes,
Yeah.
100%.
And you see him slowly back away, and it faded into nothing. It's like, oh, he's dead.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. Homelander's like walking away. Shouldn't have lied to me. And yeah, you can definitely see like you were saying the emotion in Anthony Starr in that scene. Like he's genuinely hurt and he feels like lied to.
hmm
more so than ever, and like him just putting Black Noir's mask on the table in front of the rest of the Seven and everyone there, and they're like, "Holy shit!" Like, if this is what he's gonna do
That
to
was a
Black
great scene
Noir,
too.
someone he actually respects, what is he gonna do to us? And he's like, "Take off the wig, Ashley." Which, shout out Ashley this season, dude. I
Yeah.
love her becoming the CEO.
Mhm.
Her hair pulling kink, all this shit. Her like finally like working up the courage to just talk shit on like A Train and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And for her to like cover up Maeve is still alive, I thought
Yeah,
was
I was gonna
like
bring that up. Like, there are
fantastic.
several like plot lines and character dynamics that like I'm like, there's no way that they can pull this off and make it compelling. Like, there's a scene. I'll get back to the saving Maeve's whatever the footage.
Mhm.
But there's a scene where I think it was Butcher and Homelander look at each other
Yeah.
and they carry on, and the look they have. It's not. I don't want to say respect. It's not the right word, but there's an understanding there. And I
In
was like, in what universe could they ever can these two human, can these two people
Right.
look each other in the eye and have any understanding? Like if I told you that right now that they would share that look, you'd be like, no fucking way.
Mhm.
Like there's no way. But in this moment they do it and it feels genuine. And we know everything that's
100%.
gone on between them. And I'm like, what the like this shouldn't work. This is working. Why is this working? But then
Yeah.
there's the scene of sorry, the new CEO, you just said her name a little bit ago.
Ashley.
Ashley.
Ashley, yes, Ashley. She deletes Maeve's footage, and I was like, "Wh- "What other redeeming thing have you ever done?" Like, I don't remember ever since you became CEO, of course.
You're right.
But like, ever since then, like, I don't remember a single thing. But even this moment, I was like, you know what? This makes sense. Like, I hate how good the writing is and the
Oh,
performances are.
100%.
Like this shit is top notch, and oh man, it's so good. It's so
Yeah.
fucking good. And the relationship between Frenchie and Kimiko. Frenchie might be like my dark horse favorite character. I love
Right?
Frenchie.
Mhm.
So whenever he's on screen, I'm like, dude, I love you. Like I would die for you. I
Yeah,
love you.
Mhm.
exactly. Which shout out that whole she's a maniac scene when like when
Yes.
he starts cooking and she's like dancing and you see her like moving her feet and she press play on the phone. I was like,
I
God damn,
I
she's just
honestly was
murking
hoping
dudes.
that it was gonna play throughout like all those fights, not just the
Yes.
Kimiko fight, but it was
Yeah.
still cool.
Absolutely. In which the big fight, oh my god, that was amazing. I love like Nadia giving Homelander the piece of paper last week. I was like, God damn. If you're like
Hmm.
going back to Ryan immediately, and like giving that to Homelander, like he's bringing it out in the finale. And I love the whole like grandfather dynamic they have with Soldier Boy.
Yeah.
And like going into that fight, I was like really uncertain of like, well, are they gonna like, because they even say it in the show. They're like, we don't know if they're gonna hug or if they're gonna kill each other. In which I love that going into the fight, but Soldier Boy being like,
Hmm.
I raised a pussy, and like all this shit, and
Well,
him just like them just fighting.
I'll say he literally said the same thing that his dad, Soldier Boy's dad, said to him. You're a
Mhm,
disappointment.
And what I got out of that is like just when you get a little bit of his backstory, and I'm not saying you did feel bad for him, but
mhm.
when the seeds were planted for you to start, understanding and feeling bad for him, he immediately
Yeah.
walks that shit back. And that's what I liked
Yes.
about it, because like I feel like there were several moments you're like, maybe Soldier Boy's not completely 100% a dickhead, and then it goes, no, he is.
Hmm.
Then it goes back to
And
planting those seeds again, and then no, he is. That's what
yeah,
I love about his character and the way it's portrayed on screen. I enjoy it a lot.
absolutely. I feel that way about a lot of characters, but like, yeah, as soon as they start going into it, and you like, you're still like Soldier Boy whoop Homelander's ass, but as soon as he goes for Ryan, like you were saying, Austin, there's that look between Butcher
Homelander.
and Homelander, where Butcher's like coming down. He's like, whoa, 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 like I'm backtracking on this. Like you're not gonna fight this kid. Like
For
I
for
made a promise.
for 3 seconds, Homelander and Butcher were like they had it. That's all they needed,
Yep.
and
Exactly.
never again.
Just that look.
but but just that look in those 3 seconds, and it was so
Hmm.
weird too because like I almost thought like at any moment Homelander could just kill Ryan and he wouldn't care. But like
Right.
like last season, and like now they've developed this plot line. But like even now
Hmm.
watching this, I was like he could just lose his temper and kill him. Like and I wouldn't be surprised. But it's the first genuine emotion where I'm like, Homelander's protecting something he cares about. Like, he genuinely cares about Ryan. It's such a weird thing to see that on screen portrayed this way and so well. I don't know. It threw me
Yeah,
for a loop.
I like for me just because of how like lonely he is and like growing up in the lab and all that stuff. Like I think he just wants any semblance of family, and that's why it
Yep.
means so much for him. So like
Mhm.
when Soldier Boy's like you're a disappointment, you can see the like sadness in his face.
Mhm.
And when he goes for Ryan, like it's like oh he fucked up, and I thought it was like kind of despicable of Maeve to like go back to the mission. Like Soldier Boy just booted this like kid and nearly killed
Right?
him, and like Homelander's like, not now, Maeve, and Maeve's like, no. Like if Butcher's gonna pussy out, I'm gonna be the one to take you on. And him fucking just digging into her eyes, like god
Mm-mm.
damn.
I've seen that
Yeah,
done far more gory wise, I guess,
yeah.
words. But like that still did it for me. Yeah, I was like, because
Mhm.
it was the fact that it was essentially Superman doing it, and you're like,
Yeah,
holy shit! Like he could just be like, "Boop,"
exactly.
and it's through your entire head. Maybe not Maeve's head, but you understand.
Mhm,
Yeah.
exactly.
So
And then
speaking of Maeve, I just real quick, I was like,
mhm,
at the beginning of this episode, I'm like, they're not gonna do Maeve dirty like this, just gas her and just kill
yeah,
her like that. Like, I mean, come on. And I saw it. It's
yeah,
like progressively through the episodes, like she's not going out this way. No, this is just
yeah,
cool seeing
exactly.
like the climax or like basically to the end of that episode, getting her
Mhm.
moment with Soldier Boy.
In
Mhm.
which I like we're talking about the tension and shit like that, like you're just they build this up so well and you're just speculating like what's gonna happen and you never know what it is. I thought Huey was gonna like teleport in, grab him, teleport out, and
That's
Huey was gonna
exactly
be the
what
one
they
to kill him.
wanted you to think because he had that moment where he's
Exactly.
looking at it and then he's like, "No, I'm gonna go back to doing this like my
Crank
way,
up,
like not the
crank
bad
up the
way."
Mhm.
lights.
Which I love that too because like their whole relationship this season has been like I don't need saving, like who's saving who, and like
Hmm.
all this stuff, and for Huey to like look at the temp V and be like, no, this isn't the answer. One more dose is gonna like fry my brain. It's all on her. I need to like literally amp her up right now, in which that's what he does, raises the power
And
levels.
in a way,
And
it was both of them saving each other. In a way, like it was them working
exactly.
together and not
Yep.
necessarily saving. You understand what I'm getting at? Like
Oh
Mhm.
yeah.
it was like it was a tandem effort rather than like me teleporting in and taking the brunt of the damage. It was I'm gonna juice you up, like you said. So essentially, we both like went toe to toe with Soldier Boy.
Exactly. And when she starts flying, I was like, God damn, this is my get hype moment for like
Yep.
this finale. Like, this is awesome. And then
Same.
Soldier Boy just gets up like it's nothing. And I'm like, God damn. And then, yeah, having Maeve jump out the window, incredible. I like that. Like, I was like,
She should
okay,
have died, right? She should have died.
yes,
That was, I
yes,
was, yeah. I mean, I'm
I
happy
think
she
yeah.
didn't, but at the same time,
it,
I'm like,
I think writing wise, arguably, it would have been better if she did. Like
Mhm.
I don't know. I feel like
mhm.
this is a loose end that they've proven me wrong literally every time. So like I'll shut up. But like I don't know. Her living, I was like, she's gonna be back in a weird way. I know she's probably gonna be gone for like entirety of
Yeah.
season 4, but I can totally see her
Mhm.
coming back for like a single episode and then just dying. And it's just
Yeah.
like
Well,
it
she
would have
doesn't
been
have
so
any
much
powers
better.
anymore either.
I know that's what I mean.
Mhm.
So
She,
I think if
yeah.
she would have ended here, it would have been better in my opinion. But we'll see.
Yeah. She's very like on and off in terms of like, oh, I'm a good guy. Just kidding. I'm a total piece of shit. And like, it was definitely the same way throughout this episode too, where she's like, you saved me that night you were puking in the bathroom. Now I'm going to lock you inside this vault because you're going to pussy out of killing Homelander. And I'm going to just go with Butcher and do it myself. And yeah, I thought like having her alive and like she has everything she wants, minus a second eye, I guess. Um, I was like, that's absolutely fine. I don't see her coming back.
Can we
Um,
can we take a second to acknowledge all of the plot lines
yeah,
and how all of them worked for me? And
yeah,
that's because there's so
absolutely.
much of them. There's like
Hmm.
A Train and Blue Hawk, and then the relationship with his
Yes.
brother. There's the Deep
Hmm.
and his now ex-wife. There's the main plot with Homelander. There's the Huey and
And
Starlight like
Starlight. Yep.
relationship.
Yeah.
There's like the Butcher and his little brother Lenny. There's Mother's
Hmm.
Milk and his past with Soldier Boy. There's Frenchie and Kimiko and their relationship, which
Mm,
arguably was the best part of this season, which is crazy to say because
right?
Absolutely.
this season was so good. Like there's a episode in this with Herogasm where essentially a juiced up Captain America fights Superman. I know he's not juiced up,
It's
I'm saying it
incredible.
if you were to, but
Right.
it was basically
Yes.
Captain America fighting Superman. And it was
Mhm.
so fucking cool. Like I wanted more of
Absolutely.
that, but like just seeing that at all, I was hyped as shit. And there's probably more I'm
Absolutely.
missing, honestly, for
And
storylines. Oh, there's
yeah, and
Black Noir. There's Black Noir
Black
and
Note.
him like working through all of that.
Mhm.
There's the
Edgar,
plot
all
line
his stuff.
with Edgar and the chick, the head popper.
Nadia.
Yeah. There's so much
Yeah.
shit in here and none of it feels wasted. None of it feels like it's getting the short end of the stick.
It's
Like
crazy to think.
sorry,
Go
one
ahead.
more thing. And then I'm done, I promise.
Yeah.
The one thing that I think works so well is that the plot line that I think is getting the least amount of time is the deep. And I think that's
Yes.
so accurate because it's the deep, but it's still working.
100%.
And you're like,
Yeah.
100%.
why? I don't know. It's so good.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, like this whole season really started with Edgar giving Annie like co-captain.
Yeah.
It's just crazy
Yeah,
to think, like, see
exactly.
where things started to where things are now.
100%.
And she's not even a
and
part
how,
of the
like,
Seven or Vought or anything like that. She's a part of the boys now.
yeah, exactly. Which I thought that was a fantastic moment in terms of like being like, yeah, we're recognizing you as one of the boys. And like Austin, to your point, I not only were all these characters and storylines like so great throughout the season, but I think the way the finale like wraps them all up was incredible. Like having A Train go to his brother and his brother being like, "This isn't what I wanted. I didn't want you to kill him. I
Which
wanted his
again
mugshot
was a
on on TV."
was a compelling scene in itself. Outside of
Mhm.
all
Oh yeah.
the boys does so many
Yeah.
things right. Like I can't
Mhm.
stress this enough. There's action. There's like the off the wall shit that where we get the whale and the A Train running through Robin
Penis.
and this penis scene. Like some
Mhm.
people are watching just for that. I guarantee you. But what they're getting
Absolutely.
wrapped around all of that is arguably 10 times better. And it's I don't get it. And the fact that it's
And
coming out of like an Amazon Prime show, like I still
yeah.
don't understand that at all.
Exactly. Um,
So good.
yeah, I think Andy Cortez puts it best in terms of like it's like watching like your favorite sports team like go like 12 and
Oh
0.
yeah.
Like they're just not losing. Like I feel like every episode of this show's like a 10, and I don't think there's like a weak point, like a weak episode in here. Like we're talking like Herogasm before everything before Herogasm Blur, but I'm like you still have a dildo fight with Kimiko and she
Oh, I
loses her
forgot about the
power.
dildo fight. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Yes.
this
Oh.
episode where they go to Russia.
Yeah, all that stuff. Like everything's
And
incredible.
then Huey's
like
just randomly naked. You're like, all right, cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Not a bad episode, but one thing that I did have a little bit of a gripe with was, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe you guys can convince me, but Huey's switch to being like, I'm all for this plan. I'm going with Butcher. We're doing it this way, and then Butcher knocks him out. He wakes up in the bathroom, calls Starlight, and then suddenly he just has an epiphany. Like for me, that was a little rushed and didn't feel earned enough. But
Mhm.
what do you guys think about that? That was
I
literally
think
the only thing I can find where I'm like, eh.
I think her being like, yeah, one more dose and you'd be dead. Like he comes to the realization of like, oh, Butcher's saving me, but in his own fucked up Butcher way.
I
Which
agree, but I think the way his character is portrayed is like he's already immediately in that conversation back to old Huey. Does that make sense? Because like when he's dead set on killing Homelander, up until that point, like he's a different Huey. He is like I'm all about kind of being toxic and like toxic masculinity, macho, that kind of stuff. And then as
Mhm.
soon as he's in the car with Starlight, God, I'm terrible with names. He's his old Huey even before that conversation takes place. So for me, I was
Well,
like, maybe you jumped the gun on your performance. I don't know, but yeah,
I
it felt
don't
weird.
think it's that. I think it's he realizes that Butcher had to have had a reason to just knock me out like that, even though because Huey was like, "Oh, I'm going along with his plan." So
Right.
he maybe like in having him knocked out and I'll say locked in the bathroom, but like being kept there, like he probably had a little bit of time to think on it, like before Annie
Sure.
picked him
Yeah.
up.
I guess.
Yeah.
I just don't think it was. I don't know. It felt a bit rushed for me. I agree with everything you're
Mhm.
saying now. Like I just even
Mhm.
with that being the case, it just felt like he made that switch in like a way that wasn't organic. If that makes
Yeah.
sense.
I get it. I think like Starlight really like grounds him when
I agree.
he's that far gone, and her
Oh
being
yeah.
like he didn't tell you. Like I've motherfucker, you have 200 missed calls from me because I've been calling you to try to warn you that this temp V is gonna fucking kill you.
Yeah.
And so like I think he
So
like comes to the realization
was
of
it?
like, oh shit.
Was it
You
kind
know.
of like dominoes for you guys? Because like you say that Starlight grounds him, true, but like
Mhm.
even other scenes with them before, like they were at each other's throats, and like rightfully
Mhm.
so. So like clearly then she wasn't grounding him. Do you think it was like her presence plus what Butcher did plus everything that's been going on? You think it was just kind of
Yeah.
like everything? Okay.
Plus
I
like
still
Butcher
say it felt weird. It felt slightly off to me.
I can see where you're coming from. Yeah.
Yeah,
I can see
just a
where you're
smidge.
coming from, but also like the Lenny and Butcher stuff has already been built up to where I think in season 2 we get a moment of like Butcher putting his hand on Huey's shoulder and being like, "You remind me a lot of Lenny. Like you're
Oh
my
fuck,
black
he did give
canary."
that line
Oh
before knocking him out too, didn't he?
yeah.
He's
He
like,
did say, "You remind me a lot of Lenny." He's like, "What?" So maybe that's
he's
what he was
like,
thinking about.
he
That
is
might be
like,
the same.
you're my black canary in the coal mine. Like you're saving me from going like too far gone. But now that like Butcher knows he's on this suicide mission and he is not coming back from this, like he is one temp V from like being within 12 months of dying, which we'll get back to. Put a fucking pin in that
I
one.
was just gonna say,
Um,
yeah.
like
But
Huey
no,
knows it's like yeah, he knows he's on this suicide
you're
mission and
totally
that
right.
like
I
he's going
forgot
into
that
the
that
coal mine.
line. He totally did
Right
deliver
before he
that
knocks him
line
out,
right
yeah.
before knocking him out, and you see
Yeah,
Huey go like, "What?" and then bah. So
yeah.
yeah, that
Mhm.
might be the saving grace for that switch. Even with all that said,
But
I still stand by. It felt a little just a smidge off.
yeah. All right, let's pull this pin out. Let's talk about what this season finale built up for season 4. My God, starting off Nadia, vice president,
Vice
like
president.
Essentially,
oh
president.
my,
You know it. You know it. Like
yes,
Oh yeah.
as soon as Bobby from Supernatural,
Mhm,
Head pops.
wink wink,
mhm,
gets elected, boom. And they'll probably stage it
exactly.
as like a sniper or something. They'll have a shot and then she'll
Oval
pop.
Office. Boom.
Yeah,
Pop.
yeah. It'll
Yeah,
be the Ronald Reagan. You miss me, except they didn't.
yeah,
But yeah,
exactly. In which she's like been a menacing force this the whole season, just
Ronald
playing
Reagan.
both sides and like uh Edgar literally being like, "Well, it's what I taught you to do. Like, I respect you for taking me out of this," and for her to like put her hand on Starlight and be like, "You're powerful, but you're not impossible to take down." And like Starlight's
The
nose bleeding,
nosebleed. Oh,
and
that's so cool.
just to see her next to the president, and then like watch it on TV, and Billy's like, "We gotta take it down next." I was like, let's go. Um,
Ayo. Totally.
yeah, in which also like right before that, we're told that Butcher has like 12 months to live. Do you
Yeah,
guys think
12 to
that's
18 months.
yeah, do you guys think that's like coming into play? Like there's not going to be a time jump like they did between 2 and 3 like where it's been a year like
Mhm.
season 4 is going to have to pick up right after. Do you think
Oh
this
yeah.
From what I
this
understand, well, I mean, season 2 and 3 he did have a jump, like you said. So like, I mean, I
yeah,
can see them being like 6 months later, just to even really.
give it more like ramp up that he's
Yeah,
dying.
I can see them totally doing 5 to 6 months later because of the we have that 12-month, 18-month time frame. So
Right.
I would actually bet money that they do that. Anyway,
Yeah.
fuck, I forgot my other point. It's gone.
I was go- I was going to say with those two pieces and also Ryan being in Homelander's like full
Mm.
custody, he's taking him to rallies. He is murdering people because someone's like, fuck you, fascist, tosses a fucking like soda can at Ryan's face. Homelander beams his eyes. Then Todd. First of all, fuck Todd. I think that's the easily the most
Yes.
despicable. There are a lot of despicable characters that like have some lovable traits in this show. Todd is just straight up just a like Homelander slash Trump fan because that's what they've been alluding to.
Yep.
And when he's the first one to be like, yeah, yeah, and cheering for Homelander after Homelander just murders him, I was like, fuck you,
Say
Todd.
what you want. Say what you
Mhm.
want. The performance was so good for this scene because you see
Yes.
him
Oh
contemplating it,
yeah.
kind of like, yeah,
Hmm.
I can do this here. I can
Yeah.
I can be myself here. I can be a fucking piece of shit right
Hmm.
now. And then
Yeah.
Homelander's reaction where he's just like, "Oh, I can literally do whatever
Th-
the fuck I want now. This is great." Which even
exactly.
sells
And that
home the part where Edgar's gone,
Mhm.
and he was Homelander's like check,
Right.
which
Oh yeah.
every time I look into this and I think about it, the balls on that guy, Edgar, the
Oh
fucking
yeah.
cojones on this
Mhm.
human being, just talking to Homelander the way he does. I want him back so bad. Like,
I know. I
I did
was
too,
a
oh,
dude.
little disappointed he wasn't back this season.
I mean,
Yeah,
someone
because
with that prowess when they act, like, I get it.
even when they took him out early on, I was like, okay, well, he still has something to do in the finale, right?
Right?
And then I was a little surprised he didn't come back because like especially his last line too. You're simply just bad product. I was like, oh my
The fucking
god.
cojones on this
Yeah, 100.
motherfucker,
Yeah,
Mhm.
dude.
That's
talk
I'd
about
be okay.
Homelander
I'd
just
be deep in the situation. Like, I'm like, yes, sir. I'm a
yeah.
treason. Got it. No problem.
Mhm.
yep.
Exactly. I was just like,
Sorry.
um, you talk about like Homelander can murk anyone at any time. Kills Noir for lying to him. Has such respect for Edgar though that like Edgar can call him bad product. And I was like, this dude's gonna like get lasered
I
up.
don't.
He lets Edgar walk.
I don't know if respect is the word for it. I think it's
Fear.
Maybe
not
respect or
fear,
fear.
not fear either. But God, it's like in between fear and respect. I don't know what
Yeah.
that word is.
Yeah.
Think about it, but
Let us
Exactly.
know in the comments what that feeling is.
oh
Exactly.
no, I'm gonna fucking find it.
But I feel like for season 4, it's now gonna have like it's now gonna be we have to take down Nadia, but also within like Butcher's 12 months, like he
Yep.
has to get Ryan back
Here's
from
the thing:
Homelander. Like that's his dying promise. Like that's how he's I feel like how he's gonna go out is saving Ryan next season.
do the
Mhm.
boys know that he has a time that his clock's ticking?
I don't think so.
I think it'll become more apparent in next season. I think he's like obviously we see him show up with a like the 7 drinking out of like a cup that you get at a movie theater
Mm,
for watching Dawn of the Seven, which I loved him just drinking out of
yep.
I know,
that cup.
no,
But
but it's
like
just a nice touch.
exactly. But he doesn't like immediately tell him. I think it like he literally throws up on Huey earlier in the season, just right after after taking Tempe. I think we'll get more of that in season 4 in terms of like them finally connect, like being like, holy shit, like you're going. Um, and it's gonna become more obvious and apparent uh through next season.
I can't
God
find the word.
damn. Fair enough. Um,
I have a word in my
any
head. I just can't fucking think of it.
any big standout episodes or moments?
Herogasm was dope. I don't care
Yeah.
what anyone says. I'm a sucker. My dad is a dirty minded individual. I grew up with
Mhm.
him just reading smut in front of me when I was little. So
Yeah.
like I've been in this atmosphere and that kind of stuff forever. So
Mhm.
I told my dad about this episode and he's like, "Oh, okay, cool. I'll watch that." You want to watch the rest
Right.
of the season? No. So
Yeah.
yeah. And then we didn't even talk about A Train killing Blue Hawk. I mean, we did get a little bit, but like that
Mm,
Mhm.
scene where he just takes off and brutally murders this man. Like it
Yep.
might be the most brutal kill in the entire series. I'm sure
Yeah.
someone will be like, "What about blah blah blah?" and "What about this one?" But like
Mhm.
it's got to be top 5 or something.
dragging at Mach speed against the road, like the pavement, like
Yeah.
Yes.
literally rubbing your skin and skull and guts. Like, ugh.
And then they
Exactly.
gave him his heart.
In
Love
which
it.
yeah, because I was like,
How is
what
that
if that
still like?
Cuz he's a
yeah.
soup. He's a soup. I don't know.
It's like I love it because like okay. The whole
What?
A Train stuff this season has been fantastic. Him like
Yeah.
wanting to go back to his like roots and like changes his outfit and
And
goes on this like
Ashley's like, "Uh-huh, sure. This
all
is
the stuff.
fucking okay. All
Yeah,
right."
and then
She's trying to deal with
they
Homelander.
literally
It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead,
exactly
whatever.
go for it. Do whatever you want. Do a commercial where you're able to save protesters and cops by sharing A Train energy drink, just like the Pepsi Kendall
Mm,
Jenner commercial.
Yep.
That was top tier, and for them to like then ramp up this like. First of all, the political commentary in the show is like 10 out of 10. And
I
for Blue
saw
Hawk to show up and he's like, all lives matter, Stoop lives matter. And he just starts beating the shit out of
yeah,
um,
loved it. I
like,
saw a tweet the other day and they're like, "Are you Republican? Do you watch The Boys? How? Like that was it.
Shit just mocks
Like,
you.
all right.
Exactly.
What?
And yeah, so for him to brutally like murder Blue Hawk, I was like, what a satisfying way for this character to go out. And then yeah, I thought that was like heartbreaking when they like bring him back and he's like, yeah,
Right?
so we saved you, but we also gave you Blue Hawk's heart. And
I thought
like
they were
your
gonna
heart
go
is literally
like,
the heart of a racist.
yeah, I thought that step was already like that might be a bit much, but I'm here for it. Don't get me wrong. I just think
Right.
it's probably one layer
Mhm.
you don't need to do.
Hmm.
I wanted them to go one more layer. We're like, now he's gonna become racist. Like now he's gonna just start showing these tendencies, and I'm like, yep, this is
That's
your fault, dude.
that's some like Metal Gear shit in which I was like, if they
Right?
would have
Well,
gone for it, I would have been like, that's fine, but I'm glad they like haven't gone there. And Ashley in that scene being like, and we already got an A-Train film. It's you gang banging out in the streets and coming out of that. And he's like, this isn't what I want. And it's like, damn. And then yeah, he shows up to Nathan's and he's like, that's not what I want. I wanted this dude to be. I wanted his mugshot plastered on TV to declare that racism is bad and there's consequences for being racist. But you just straight up murdered him.
yeah,
Like,
I'm not laughing at
chef's kiss.
racism. I promise. My dog is whining because he has to go outside. I'm gonna put him outside. But that scene between those brothers, I brought this up already, but that scene hit. Like I that's a
Yeah.
great scene in this
Mhm.
freaking political commentary comedy kind of like it doesn't belong here. It just doesn't, and it
Yeah.
works. And I
I was
don't
gonna
know how
say
to
with
explain it.
how great this finale was, that scene is
Mhm.
still a standout.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Any standout moments or episodes for you, Alec?
Big one honestly was episode 7 of this season, The Boys Strike Back. And
Mhm.
the moment where you get Soldier Boy, Huey, and Butcher like holding down Homelander. And it's like Huey's just like,
That's
I'm not going anywhere.
yeah, that's right at the end of Herogasm. That was like
Oh, here, guys. Okay.
that was tense, and like you can definitely see that like Homelander, like Austin was saying, like scared and like
Oh
kind
yeah.
of like a rabid animal, like being held down. And yeah, I was right there with you. Although like episode 7 though is still like fantastic in terms of we're like now spending one time with Soldier Boy via Huey, and
Hmm.
like you can see Soldier Boy has like PTSD. I was like, fuck you, I don't got shell shock. And the whole that whole storyline of just hanging out with Soldier Boy and him like just murking that one preacher, like just shooting him cold blank in the head, and Huey's
Yeah.
like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And then
He
the
was
like
right.
nurse jumps on Huey and
Yeah.
like starts eating. Fantastic. Any other like big standout moments for you guys?
I think I kind of said mine at the beginning. Like,
Fair
I'm
enough.
a sucker for subtle things where, like, the look
Mhm.
between Homelander and Butcher
Hmm.
Yeah.
when Soldier Boy basically like shoulder checks Ryan into the fucking wall. Like,
Mhm.
that did it for me. Like, I got everything I
Yeah.
needed right there. Like, the fact that those two, of all people in this universe, like, looked at each other and had
Mhm.
an understanding for 3 seconds.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I would have bet my life that that would never happen.
Mhm. I was like I've always been a huge fan of the political commentary of the show in terms of
Totally.
like last season with season 2 we had all the Nazi stuff and the like making the memes and like memes sell people and shit like that, and then the A-Train Pepsi commercial. The moment where they open episode 7 with the imagination spoof from Gal Gadot
Yes.
and like I watched a side by side where they have both scenes playing at the same time. What the Deep is saying is so close to get what Gal Gadot said, minus just like it. Well, plus he has some like soup stuff to recognize, like to
Hmm.
add, and then all the cameos. Patton Oswalt, fantastic, showing up. Kumail Nanjiani, like all these guys saying "Imagine." That was just such a
We also
like
had
incredible
Seth
way to start
Rogen
a new show.
again in The Boys.
Yes, Sir comes a lot. Fantastic. Also Votland too, having like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
woke box or whatever, or like the BLM BLT, all that shit,
Hmm.
just like the merchandising and
Vadaburger.
like Vadaburger, absolutely, all that stuff. Incredible. Any one last question? Who's your favorite boy
Like out of the core group. Is
out
that
of
what you
the
mean?
core group? Yeah, who is your favorite? Who is your favorite of the boys?
I think it's Frenchie. I think it's Frenchie. I really do. but they're all great. Like if you
Yeah.
told me to pick any of them, like I would be like if I was
It's
drawing
like picking
sticks,
your
if I was
favorite
drawing sticks and I got
child.
Mother's Milk or I got Butcher or I got Huey, I'd be like,
Mhm.
cool. Like
Yeah.
Right.
either way, but I think it's Frenchie.
I think I gotta go with Mother's Milk. Like, I don't know, I just really
Yeah.
liked his character this season especially. Like seeing all the development he got was really cool.
And who helped him with that
100%.
development? Frenchie. I rest my case. I rest my case. To the
I don't know
imaginary
if it's
people of
that
Discord.
or more like him just reflecting on what Soldier
Yeah, I
Boy's
know.
going through.
Frenchie gave him the nudges, you know.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly.
I'd say
I'm
Frenchie's really cool.
like,
Well, yeah.
I love
I
him.
really like Mother's Milk.
yeah, I'm right there with you. As someone who's been diagnosed and suffers with like crippling OCD, it was very important for me to like see that portrayed in such a meaningful and impactful way on the boys this season. In terms of just like Mother's Milk has like OCD tendencies and mental checks he has to do to not only like live day to day as a functioning member of society, but also take on soups.
Mhm.
That was an incredible scene, and just like it gets like it fluctuates based on your trauma and just like your mental well-being. And so for him, like as soon as Soldier Boy gets away, for his like OCD to ramp up more, and he's like wiping down the seat before he goes and sits, like you can definitely see he's losing it. And I've like saw myself a lot in Mother's Milk at those times in which it was like impactful. And just shout out like Frenchie just being like, "Yo, dog, you're not well," and he's like, "Look at you, dude! Like you're shooting up
Yeah.
heroin and like lines of coke. you want to talk about me not being well? Look at you not being well." And yeah,
That was
I
a
just
cool
feel like
scene between those two.
any absolutely. I feel like any lesser show would have just like made it a joke and just been like, "Oh, he's a germaphobe," or "Oh, look at the OCD." But yeah, it's great seeing that represented this season. And on that, I think we've covered season 3 of The Boys, y'all.
Yeah.
Let us know what you thought of season 3 down below in the comments. Like this video. Let us know if you want to do week to week recaps, because like Hero Gasm came out and Alex like, man, I really wish we were doing week to week recaps of The Boys, and I was like, God damn, me too. So if that's something you're interested in seeing, also let us know, because we might do that for season 4 when it returns. But other than that, we will see you around. Different media club, different YouTube video. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, like the video, and we'll be back, you lot.